Okay, so today we're going to do a deep dive into something that's pretty relevant to a lot of you out there.
Yeah,
Dating as a British Asian in 2025.
right.
And we've got this video description that just lays out all these like complexities about trying to date, with Western dating norms, but then also like South Asian cultural expectations.
Is that a tightrope walk?
Yeah, it actually says it's like walking a cultural tightrope.
Oh, really?
And so that's what we're going to try to like unpack today.
Yeah, totally. I mean, just from this video description even, it's clear that like this is going to be like a multifaceted thing, Like
Yeah.
this isn't just about like individual experiences, it's also about how technology is getting involved and like communities are changing and even like, the matchmakers and stuff are weighing in.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So like right away, the video description is all about like, actual British Asian singles living in the UK
Yeah.
and how they're like trying to find their way, between these like two huge cultural influences and obviously dealing with, family and what they expect and all of that.
Mm.
And, you can really see that core tension like right away.
For sure.
Like, right. The video description calls it the cultural tightrope.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the one hand, you want a modern relationship,
Yeah.
but then you also feel this pull towards, finding someone who gets where you come from culturally.
Right. And it really brings up these bigger questions too, about like identity in today's world.
Totally.
I mean, like Western cultures are all about like individual choice and happiness when it comes to dating. But South Asian cultures tend to be more family oriented. It's
Yeah.
like, how do you figure out like your own priorities when they sometimes clash like that?
It's so interesting though, because, the video description talks about how dating apps are like waking up to all of this.
Yeah.
They're starting to like recognize these cultural differences, and they're even making like special features just for South Asian users in the UK.
Right. Like they're realizing that it's not just a one size fits all kind of thing.
Very bad.
People might care about things like religion or caste, and they need ways to like factor that into their search. Yeah.
But then it makes you wonder too, like these features might help you find someone more compatible.
Right.
But do they also like change how you see potential partners?
That's such a good question.
Yeah.
Because like the video description mentions this too, like conversations about things like caste and a religion and how you'd fit in with each other's families.
Right.
Those are different than what you'd talk about in like a mainstream dating situation.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, for some people, those conversations are like way more loaded from the get-go.
Absolutely. They're like fundamental to who you are.
Right.
It's not just about like what kind of music you're into or whatever. It's about like your identity and where you belong.
For sure. And it's not just online either.
Yeah.
The video description talks about all these like British Asian dating events that are popping up.
Okay.
It seems like communities are getting more proactive about like creating spaces where people can meet face to face,
I guess for some people that feels safer.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of assume that everyone there gets it,
Yeah.
Totally.
You don't have to explain your whole background, and those conversations can just happen naturally.
Yeah, I wonder how that compares to like using the apps though.
Right.
Oh, and then there's this whole other angle that the video description brings up.
What's that?
Professional matchmakers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they must have such a unique perspective on all of this, right?
I bet.
Like they're seeing firsthand how British Asians are approaching dating now.
Yeah.
And the description hints that it's like a totally different approach than what their parents did or even what like non-Asian people are doing.
It's like they're creating this new way of thinking about compatibility.
Right.
Like finding someone who understands both sides of your identity.
Yeah.
The British part and the South Asian part, and that like mutual respect is a huge priority.
Yeah, okay, so let's break this down.
Okay.
What does this all mean for you?
Right.
Well, it seems like the main takeaway is that dating as a British Asian in 2025 is this like constantly evolving thing. It's not about choosing one culture over the other. It's about finding your own balance.
Exactly.
You have to be really self-aware about what you want and what your family expects
Yeah.
and what your community values.
For sure. And it's a journey,
Absolutely. Okay, so here's a question for you all to ponder.
Okay.
As we talk more and more openly about these unique dating experiences,
Yeah.
how is that going to shape the future of relationships and community for British Asians in the UK?
That's a big one.
It really is. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah. This was great.
Until next time.
See? Bye.